Alright, man, look, okay. So I know what some of y'all are probably thinking, looking at the title of this video, man. Like, how can I even compare these two niggas? However, some of y'all probably think I'm tripping for comparing Quando to Vaughn, and some of y'all may be thinking I'm tripping for comparing Vaughn to Quando. Me personally, like, I'm somewhere in the middle. I think it's a pretty valid comparison, actually, considering the history with these two, and like, they make relatively similar music. So I figured it was a good comparison, especially considering that these are two artists that I'm pretty deep on. I fuck with both of these dudes pretty heavily, so I figured there's no better way to kickstart this channel. The first episode of my new series called One Gotta Go. So the inspiration for this video actually came when I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and I asked him, like, yo, like, who you fucking with more, man? Like, King Von or Quando Rondo, man? And he kind of had a similar response that I did, where it was kind of just like, essentially, like, I don't know. Like, one day you can ask me and I'll say King Von. One day you can ask me, I'll say Quando Rondo. It's kind of similar to how I feel about Die-Lit versus self-titled. You asked me one day, oh, Die-Lit for sure. The other day, self-titled. It was kind of back and forth. So I wanted to make this video to go through both of their discographies and really just look at it and compare, and just give my opinions on who I think is not only better, but who would I let go if I had to. Now, like I said, I'll always try to make the artists have some sort of connection, as I feel that'll help with not only comparing their music, but also their impact on the genre as a whole. And so, for the case of Quando Rondo and King Von, to most rap fans, I feel like the relationship is relatively clear. But for those who don't know, let me explain real quick. So, back in November of 2020, King Von and his entourage were at a nightclub in Atlanta. And that was the same one that Quando Rondo and his team were at. And I say one night, but this shit happened at like 3 a.m. Like, them niggas were out late as hell. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. But okay, so Quando was signed to Youngboy, who had, and I guess still has, a very open beef with Durk, who of course King Von is signed to on his label Only the Family OTF. So essentially, Von spots Quando outside the club. He runs up on him and he starts beating that nigga's ass, basically. Just whooping that nigga, like, middle of the street, like, just beating that nigga ass. And then, unfortunately, in true herd nigga fashion, one of Quando's friends, the now infamous Lil Tum, sees essentially his moneymaker getting his ass beat, and he decides to run up and shoot Von, and he fatally killed him with a couple shots. And a few other people also got shot that night too, including King Von's manager. And then the police started shooting too. Like, it was a whole mess. A lot more happened, but I'm gonna spare the details. But I just wanted to give y'all some context so you can see why I chose these two for the first matchup. And so now, without further ado, this is the first episode of One Gotta Go. Talk to him. Now, when I first thought about this, my mind instantly assumed I fuck with Quando more, and for good reason. Quando is very talented and makes honestly amazing music, and I feel like a lot of people asleep on him, especially his recent music that he's been putting out on YouTube. Lately, he's been taking the Youngboy YouTube approach, posting hella music videos on there for songs that are usually only on YouTube first, and then like eventually he'll migrate them over to his streaming services. And it seems like he's trying to build that whole YouTube following, which I'm sure makes him a ton of money in the process. Regarding official releases, back in 2018, he released his first project, Life Before Fame, and goddamn, nigga, this shit is hard as fuck. Like, I'm being dead ass. This shit has some of my favorite Quando songs on there, man. Like, you got Project Kid, Testimony, and of course ABG. And this album is fire as fuck, and it's definitely a strong debut for him. So since then, he's released 6 other projects, including a recent collab tape with Youngboy, which, like, in my opinion, like, it was cool, but it didn't have any songs on it that, in my opinion, topped any of the recent collabs. But like, if I had to pick my favorite Quando album, man, like, I ain't gonna lie, it's probably a tie between 2021, Still Taking Risks, and Diary of a Lost Child, which came out in 2020. And before you niggas try to crucify me in the comment section, nigga, I love all his other projects, like, for real. Like, there's some heat on Q-Pac, a life after fame, like seriously, like that shit is crazy as hell. But I mean, I just gotta, this is my opinion. And I don't want to hear nothing from you lame ass niggas talk about. Well, actually, that nigga been dropping music since 2016 or something. Nigga, we don't give a fuck about that, nigga. We're talking about official releases. Quando was also one of the first rappers for me who introduced me to what I like to call the overflow, which is basically when you just overlap the end of your bars a little bit. And man, if done properly, man, that's just hard as fuck. Lil Double O does that too. Y'all sleep on him. Lil Double O does that very well. He's definitely one of the hottest niggas coming out of Memphis right now. But enough about Quando, man. Let's talk about Von. Now, obviously, Quando's discography is a lot larger than Von's, as unfortunately, Von wasn't here for too long, and he only released 3 official projects while he was alive, as well as a posthumous. I'd say Von had one of the better posthumous albums. Like, I'm not gonna say that shit was ass, but like, it's definitely near the bottom of his discography as a whole. I first got put on to Von. I was chilling with my nigga David, and he played that Crazy Story Part 2, that remix with Durk, man. And that shit went crazy as hell, for real. And Von is one of those special cases where he was really in these streets. Like, I don't really give a fuck about the streets. Like, it doesn't really add too much validity for me. But when somebody is in the streets and is well documented like it is for him, it really does impact the music, and I think we can all agree on that. Now I'm gonna have a whole wave of SoundCloud niggas out here catching bodies trying to make their music hit harder. Like, no, nigga, your shit still ass. But nah, for real, like, while he was here, I'd say Von made a pretty decent impact on the drill scene as a whole. Like, and not just even Chicago drill. Like, that nigga was out here working with Fabio Foreign a lot. They had a few pretty fire collabs. Like, I think he definitely made his impact while he was here. But now for this serial killer's best album, I'm probably gonna rock with Welcome to O Block, man. And honestly, it's not even really close for me. Like, shit, you got Demon, GTA, Armed and Dangerous, Mine 2, Wayne Story. Like, nigga, goddamn. That nigga was sliding for real, bro. And like, his posthumous, like I said, it was cool. It was cool. I don't think he needs another one. I don't even know if he has enough music for another one, man. I mean, that nigga was really only rapping for like 2 years. But I mean, I say overall, his music has been handled pretty well since his death. And the same can't be said for certain people. Look, I understand like a lot of people like him for his storytelling abilities and shit, but I feel like his storytelling was just like some average rapping. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a hating ass nigga, but like, I feel like I've heard better storytelling. It was good, like, I'm still bumping that shit, but like, y'all niggas really make it seem like this nigga was doing something new. And let's not forget that this nigga literally had the biggest fucking lift off ever. This nigga was tapped in with Durk and OTF, all them niggas, like, they grew up together, like, like, I don't know, that shit. Like, he probably wouldn't have gotten to the level he did. I mean, he definitely wouldn't have gotten to the level that he did without that push, which is cool. It's cool, But we gotta remember that when we're talking about, like, when you're comparing him to Quando, like, Quando really had to grind for his shit, like, for real. Like, not saying that Von didn't grind, but he definitely had it a lot easier than essentially anybody else. But overall, I mean, I'm definitely a big Von fan. I still listen to him pretty decently. Probably not as much as I listen to Quando, just because Quando's actively dropping shit like all the time. But let me get to the comparison of these niggas. Okay, so first, if I had to compare what I said both of their best albums are, for this, I'll just say Still Taking Risks for Quando and then Welcome to O Block for Von. I have to put Welcome to O Block over Still Taking Risks, just because there's so many fire ass songs on that album. Like, the stretches of the first 5 songs is incredible. Like, so I definitely have to put that album over Quando's best album. But again, we gotta remember that Quando has significantly more music to supplement that album. Like, a lot of other albums are very good. So it's not completely putting Quando out of the race yet. I truly think that Quando is extremely talented. He can sing, which is something that Von can't do. But I mean, who knows? Maybe if Von had more time, he would have learned to sing. Like, I just feel like if Von had more time, like, it probably would have put him over the edge for me. But due to that and just how much I really do believe Quando is just like genuinely talented, I think if one had to go for me, I'd probably have to let that nigga Von go. Now, I know I'm probably pissing off a bunch of fucking OTF fanboys, but I don't give a fuck, man. Like I said, this is my opinion, bro. Those niggas don't know you, bro. You not gang. Uh, but yeah, nah, man. This is just my opinion, and I just feel like Quando edges out Von in a few categories I really just can't overlook. Regardless, obviously, I still fuck with both of these dudes very heavily. For Von, you know, I'm bumping Welcome to O Block and LeVon James, which is also a super fire project, you know. But yeah, nah, that's basically all I wanted to say about the topic. And you guys just let me know who you want me to talk about next, who you want me to compare next. I got a few videos I'm working on right now, so you guys just let me know. And if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, maybe subscribe. I'm a new channel, as you can see. And also if you have any tips, like for me, like drop them in the comments, and also comment below who would you let go. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding these two dudes, so I want to know what you guys think too. Talk to them.